घटना चक्र, सह प्रायोजक MDH मसाले,
असली मसाले से MDH
और पेट्रोलियम कंजर्वेशन रिसर्च एसोसिएशन।
फिजूल गैस इस्तेमाल करने से कोई भी फैमिली बर्बाद हो सकती है।
नमस्कार, घटना चक्र में आप सबका स्वागत है। एक फिल्म का गाना आपने जरूर सुना होगा, तुम अगर मुझको न चाहो तो कोई बात नहीं, तुम किसी गैर को चाहोगी तो मुश्किल होगी। ये गाना अमेरिका के ऊपर बिल्कुल मुफीद बैठता है। अमेरिका आज पूरी दुनिया में जिस तरह से व्यवहार कर रहा है और जिस तरह से डंका बजाया जा रहा है, उससे लगता यह है कि या तो आप मेरे खेमे में रहिए, और अगर आप दूसरे के खेमे में हैं तो मैं उसको नापसंद करता हूं, और आपके देश में जो हो रहा है उस पर टिप्पणी करना, उस पर रूल बनाना, उस पर नियम कायदे कानून बनाना, ये मेरे अधिकार क्षेत्र में आता है। इराक युद्ध के बाद अमेरिका का असली निशाना जो कि नजर आ रहा है, अभी साफ साफ तौर पर निशाना नहीं है, ईरान है। ईरान में अमेरिका की जो परोक्ष रूप से इच्छा है वो ये है कि वहां शासक बदल दिए जाए, रिजीम बदल दिया जाए, चेंज ऑफ रिजीम हो जाए। लेकिन उसके लिए बहाना चाहिए, उसके लिए तरीका चाहिए, और तरीका वही है जो इराक में हुआ। कहानी दोहराई जा रही है, यानी कि ईरान में न्यूक्लियर परमाणु बम बन रहे हैं, परमाणु बमों का जखीरा वहां है। इसके लिए इंस्पेक्टर्स यूनाइटेड नेशंस के भेजे जा रहे हैं, उसकी सैंपलिंग्स की बात हो रही है, और पूरी दुनिया में इस बात को लेकर के चर्चा है कि इराक के बाद क्या अब अमेरिका का रुख ईरान की ओर है। इस मुद्दे पर आज विशेष रूप से चर्चा करने के लिए हमने ईरान के एम्बेसडर हिज एक्सीलेंसी SG याकूबी साहब को बुलाया हुआ है। वो हमारे बीच में है। योर एक्सीलेंसी, यू आर वेलकम इन आवर प्रोग्राम। आई हैव इंट्रोड्यूस्ड द प्रोग्राम विद व्हाट आई सेड दिस आफ्टर इराक वॉर, द अमेरिकन इंटेंशन इज वेरी ऑब्वियस। America wants either you be in my camp, or otherwise I will have authority to dictate or to narrate and to make rules and regulations according to my wishes. And Iraq is being repeated in Iran, it's presumed. And America's intention is very clear, and the route is same what they have planned there in Iraq. They are saying in Iran that you have the nuclear powers, nuclear bombs, and your country is a threat to the world peace, and they want that you should allow the United Nations, International Atomic Energy Agencies inspectors to have the samples of the nuclear sites. This is a dispute going on. We will discuss this thread and bear, your relation with the USA and your program, nuclear program in your country. But before I ask you anything with your program, I want to know one particular thing, that how you see the whole allegations of the USA and their allies in the world. Before you answer, for your help, I will narrate the 4 days opinion in the world, what the world leaders are saying or what the America is saying regarding this. This will help you to narrate and to answer the questions. Let's go. On June 29th, Iran next US target. Bush warns Iran on nuclear weapons. We will not tolerate construction of a nuclear weapon by Tehran. Bush. The language of force and threat will be futile. Salehi, spokesman, National Council of Resistance of Iran. Khatami defends Iran's right to acquire advanced nuclear technology. June 20, UN nuclear watchdog demands Iranian concessions on inspections. Iran says it will not permit IAEA, International Atomic Energy Agency, to take samples. US official says military action against Iran remains an option. Iran blocks UN nuke watchdog's moves. Iran not nuclear threat Putin. The Iranian leadership is ready to fully meet all the IAEA demands regarding control over its nuclear program. Putin, June 21st. There are many countries that have failed to report, not just Iran. They are showing their willingness to cooperate. Let the process go on. Malaysian Ambassador Hussein Hanif. Iran nuke activities are of peaceful nature. Putin. Iran rejects US charge of faulty nuclear report. Iran refuses to let IAEA take samples from power plant. Iran Russia nuclear ties transparent. Duma official, June 22nd. German minister warns against US attack on Iran. June 23rd. US not preparing to attack Iran. Powell is divided over Iran. June 24th. Iran accuses US of lying over nuclear program. This is what has been said regarding your country and the nuclear program. But on the first set, if I ask you a question, are you expecting the attack by Americans on your country?
Well, that's what you have asked from them because, well, we are very familiar with this sort of the threat from very beginning of the Iranian revolution in Iran and change of regime in Iran, coming from a monarchical regime going to a republican system of ruling the country. I mean, this threat has been there always, but it's not anything new as far as we are concerned.
No, that's absolutely right. But do you justify or how you see the Americans' perception to change the regime from monarchy to a more democratically elected government in Iraq?
Well, it has been always hostile. In fact, perhaps they don't want to realize the reality in Iran. And so always that has been a hostile approach to Iran. They didn't want to come to the reality which the Iranian should have a democratic system. They have to rule their country by themselves. They have to control their resources by themselves. And they might have the different opinion. They might have different independent policy. So these are the reality. I think they have to realize it. And so far they have failed to realize it.
No, but you see after Iraq, well, let's come one by one. After Iraq's occupation by Americans, what are the changes have occurred there in the whole Gulf region vis-a-vis in your country?
Well, really, I personally am not worried about, say, what happened in Iraq. I feel sorry for the invasion. I feel sorry for the Iraqi people. But I don't have any love and affection for the regime change down there, because that regime itself was very unpopular. And what happened in Iraq, perhaps it's not so important. Important is that what's going to happen in the whole region. You know, in our region, there are some hot spots, which I think we have to focus on those hot spots. The balance has been changed now. I do not know how political process in Iraq will continue, and whether the Iraqi people will have chance to express their point of view, which eventually that Iraq also will be a big problem. So the overall picture of our region is not very promising at all. Look at the countries.
No, but if we look at your whole the geographical neighbors, if we talk about Turkey, if we talk about Kuwait, if we talk about Saudi Arabia or Oman or Afghanistan, you are surrounded with all these things.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the changes after Iraq in this whole region. How you see, are they really feared or threatened by the US occupation in Iraq, or are they cooperating to the US authorities under the threat, or the you can say willfully succumbing to the pressure of the American pressure?
Well, let me tell you that the operation in Iraq and also the presence of the foreign troop in our region, I think they might become a source of this instability of whole region. What I'm worried about that, you know, this perhaps bad policy and wrong policy will pave the road for the extremists to gain popularity and publicity in many countries around us. I'm more worried about that phenomena. When you deprive the people from the right to forming their own government, their own democratic system, so eventually the extremists will have an upper hand in order to run that particular country or the others. The presence of the foreign troop in a foreign troop in a country itself is a source of instability, a big challenge to the peace and stability and tranquility of our region.
But what you think, USA and the Britain and their ally, what is their intention to have the presence in this whole region? First Iraq, and now then Iran, and later on there may be Saudi Arabia, which is a third target according to the plan, what we see on the drawing board of the USA, which is a said and unsaid and uncommunicated message by the USA. But what is the reason of these both powerful countries or their allies, why they want to be there in this region?
Well, naturally because of the national interest. I mean, that national interest doesn't mean that it is well taken by the other countries and the other country will accept it. But they are down there only for the national interest. That national interest might be change of regime, might be oil, might be any other things. But they are down there only for the national interests.
No, but don't you think that in particularly in this whole region, if the USA comes and by proxy they have their ruling clique in this whole region, they have their own presidents or the prime ministers in the respective countries, whether it is Saudi Arabia or Oman or Qatar or Iraq, the Turkey also, don't you think it will be much easier for them to have the power, economic power, particularly the power generated and converted into economy through oil, and they want to have the oil supremacy globally, so they want to come in your region? Don't you see that reason?
Well, good luck to them. First of all, if this is their plan, good luck to them. Well, I just want to add some more thing to what you have just said. In short term, there might be some gain. Naturally, there will be some gain. But in long term, I don't think so there will be any gain. There will be loss. Now, let me just put it this way, that supposing there was a genuine democracy in some of Persian Gulf state, supposing, or in some African country, whether you think the extremist group like Al-Qaeda, thing like that, would go to that extent that create that tragic event in New York or in Afghanistan? Now, supposing that this country would enjoy to have a democratic system, wouldn't the extremists also would raise their voice in a civil way of expressing point of view? If they had a say in their own country, if they could change the government, if they could have their own party, why did they go to that extremist? So many of those countries have been supported by the same country, which now they're asking for changes, things like that. So perhaps in short term, they could gain a lot of things with short-sighted policy, but surely with the long term, I don't think so. And it's not in interest of anybody. You see, our region is full of bloodshed, war, and the extremist point of extremist, something like that. So it's already enough in our region. We are not happy to see bloodshed. It's not, you know, in interest of a region. What is needed is a logic and the logic, and also respecting the interests of the individual country and recognizing the right of the people in the region to run their country.
But Your Excellency, do you think America considers the logic works? And I do not know what will be your reaction, but we will come back after a short break. हम एक छोटे से ब्रेक के बाद लौट करके आएंगे और ईरान पर अमेरिका की जो इच्छाएं हैं उसके बारे में फिर से चर्चा करेंगे एक छोटे से ब्रेक के बाद।
धूप में जाना है पर यूवी रेस से त्वचा झुलस सकती है, लेकिन अब आप जा सकते हैं क्योंकि आयुर सनस्क्रीन लोशन त्वचा को दे पोषण, गोरापन और सुरक्षा धूप से।
अब धूप से क्या डरना?
इस उम्र में भी मेरे साथ दांत सुरक्षित थे।
मेरी तरह आप भी दांतों को सुरक्षित रखना चाहते हैं तो एनबीए दंत मंजन करना ना भूलें।
Here begins the era of royalty. For designer clothing, of course. PP Design Estate from the house of PP Jewelers.
चाहे गगन चूमती हो ऊंचाइयां, चाहे भरनी हो गहराइयां, देश का आधार निर्माण और उन्नति, क्योंकि साथ है कामधेनु सरिया टीएमटी, संपूर्ण सुरक्षा की गारंटी।
घटना चक्र में आप सबका एक बार फिर से स्वागत है। अमेरिका की इच्छाओं पर बातचीत हो रही है। ईरान के बारे में उनका जो प्रेम है वो उमड़ करके आ रहा है, उसके बारे में बातचीत है। बातचीत में हमारे साथ शामिल हैं ईरान के राजदूत SG यागोबी साहब। इससे पहले कि हम उनसे चर्चा करें, हम लोग चलेंगे एक छोटे से पैकेज को देखने के लिए, जहां के इंटरनेशनल एटॉमिक एनर्जी एजेंसी के मुखिया ने कहा है कि ईरान के बारे में जो अपने बयान व्यक्त किए हैं वो हम देखते हैं एक छोटे से पैकेज की मदद से, और उसके बाद लौट करके आएंगे बातचीत के लिए।
रूस के राष्ट्रपति व्लादिमीर पुतिन ने कहा कि अमेरिका की आशंका के बावजूद रूस ईरान को उसके परमाणु कार्यक्रम में मदद देने से पीछे नहीं हटेगा। पुतिन ने कहा कि ईरान के राष्ट्रपति मोहम्मद खतामी ने उन्हें यकीन दिलाया है कि ईरान परमाणु हथियार नहीं बनाएगा, लेकिन अमेरिका अब भी यही मानता है कि ईरान गुपचुप तरीके से परमाणु हथियार बनाने में जुटा हुआ है।
There are issues that remain unanswered with Iranian failure to comply with the IAEA, providing access and providing assurances that the safeguards have been met. That, coupled with Iranian attempts to develop nuclear energy, and a country that doesn't need nuclear energy, does give cause for great concern.
उधर अंतर्राष्ट्रीय परमाणु ऊर्जा एजेंसी यानी IAEA के मुखिया मोहम्मद अल बरदाई ने ईरान से अपने परमाणु कार्यक्रम का मकसद साफ करने को कहा है। ईरान का कहना है वो परमाणु ऊर्जा का उपयोग बिजली बनाने में करना चाहता है। IAEA चाहता है कि उसे ईरान के परमाणु संयंत्रों की अचानक जांच करने की इजाजत मिले। अभी तक ईरान ने केवल सूचना देकर ही अपने संयंत्रों की जांच की अनुमति दी हुई है।
The board also made it very clear that Iran should continue to be fully transparent and fully cooperative with the agency in completing the work ahead of us. We still have a lot of work to clarify safeguard and verification issues in Iran.
IAEA आरोप लगा रहा है कि वादे के मुताबिक ईरान ने अब तक परमाणु कार्यक्रमों की पूरी जानकारी मुहैया नहीं कराई है। इसी बीच अमेरिका के सीनेटर सैम ब्राउन बैक ने ईरान के खिलाफ सैनिक कार्रवाई की संभावना से भी इनकार नहीं किया है। विदेश डेस्क, जैन न्यूज।
धन्यवाद। हम लोग बात कर रहे हैं इस ईरान के क्राइसिस पर। एस जी यादोबी साहब जो कि वहाँ के एम्बेसडर हैं। याकूबी साहब, आपका फिर से स्वागत है। हम लोग बात कर रहे थे, नाउ वी वर डिस्कसिंग अबाउट दिस पर्टिकुलर द पैकेज व्हिच यू हैव सीन इन व्हिच the IAEA chief has alleged that you are not cooperating with the inspectors what they have demanded. Why? Let's come in this session, let's discuss this.
Okay. Well, we've been cooperating with them. It's not a problem of that Iran was not cooperating. You know, the problem is the selectiveness. I mean, there are many countries, not in our region, that have not signed NPT. They have not accepted any supervision from any agency or any country. They have pile of atomic arsenal.
No, but you are the member of the IAEA for last 12 years. And for last 12 years, what they alleged, you have not submitted the list of what you have imported, what you are doing within your country. They want the full details of the last 12 years, what you have done and what is your program.
Yeah, well, I was trying to say that, you know, the approach is selective, put in this way, that even those countries which are having, are famous to have the atomic weapon, if the policy is in favor of, you know, this country or that country, simply everything could be ignored, and those countries can enjoy to have whatever, can enjoy to do whatever they wanted. This is the general rule. I mean, perhaps in our part of region. Now there are many countries which have failed to perhaps to implement some part of the agreement which they had it with the ILA. So it's not a very, very significant things. Usually through discussion and dialogue, that problem could be over time. Now everything has been focused on something which was a practice in dealing between IA and a particular country. Now, Iran is a signatory NPT. Iran has quite frequently has been inspected by IAEA inspectors. They had not been deprived from their duties inside Iran. IAEA has asked us for signing of additional protocol. We have told them we are ready to discuss and negotiate. But on the other hand, what we are expecting is that according to an NPT, the other country which enjoy to have the technology, nuclear technology, should transfer that technology to those countries which are the signatory of the NPT, which that has been deprived.
No, but the only allegation which they have, that they want to have the samples nearby your nuclear plants, and you are refusing not to allow them to have the samples, IAEA agents. Why this is so? Because the same thing is happening. See, Excellency, what my fear is this, that again the same story is being repeated. What has happened there in Iraq? They want to create and the allegations. They want to prove that you are not cooperating with them, and though till now Iraq does not have any weapons of mass destructions. That is another debatable point. But they want to create and paste you globally that Iraq has got a nuclear power. They want to use it for mass destructions, and our inspectors are not being allowed. So let's move on. So you are inviting USA's attack on your country by refusing and by accepting the allegations of the IAEA and not cooperating with the inspectors.
Well, I mean, so it means that even if Iran fully comply with what is signed, the street allegation will be down there. I mean, this was the IAEA before the occupation of Iraq clearly said that doesn't have any reason to believe that Iraqi are having any nuclear program. But the attack has happened. So supposing tomorrow we accept everything, but who is to guarantee that there will not be another allegation? Even the same people, they went to that extent that back about a few years ago, they said we do not accept IAEA. I mean, the logic is just like that.
No,
you know, you have. The problem is not there.
See, global acceptable norm is what?
Yeah.
That any country, because that is a UN agency. America is not saying that you are not cooperating with the inspectors. IAEA, International Atomic Energy Agency, is saying, which is a body of the United Nations, they are saying that you are not cooperating with our inspectors, and they want sudden inspection at your nuclear sites. So what is your apprehension not to allow them to have the inspections?
So, first of all, the report is not only confined to what we have not done. They have appreciated of our cooperation, and there are many clauses that they have expressed their appreciation of what Iran has done it. And then we are in a course of discussion with them, we are talking with them, and we hope we can find a solution. Then about that particular site which you refer it, we say, okay, we'll let you do it, but what will be the next? I mean, you have to have a roadmap according to NPT, which we have signed it. That's what we are talking with them, because they wanted to see.
No, you accept that you are a nuclear power nation.
Yeah.
You are making nuclear bombs, and you are making a nuclear power plant.
Not nuclear bomb, of course.
No. What is your status? I want to know about that.
But we want to use nuclear technology in our power plant. And nuclear technology is not only for making bomb, as a many other applications. I mean, we should not be deprived of our right. Whatever has happened in Iran, has been developed inside Iran itself.
Yes.
Some country might help us, but the technology which has been developed has been done by Iran itself.
Okay, we will come back. Your Excellency, our one guest, A.K. Pasha, has come because Delhi is raining, so he was stuck up in a way. We will come back after a short break and we will continue our discussion. एक छोटे से ब्रेक के बाद.
जहाँ जहाँ जाए शुभ लक्ष्मी वहाँ खुशियों में आए हरी वर्षा धूप सच MDH
Here begins the era of royalty. For designer clothing, of course. PP Design Estate from the house of PP Jewelers.
प्रण से प्रयास प्रयत्न से विश्वास विश्वास से संभव कर दिखाए लगन ऐसी जैसे भक्ति भक्ति से है शुद्धता शुद्धता से शक्ति
राजधानी बेसन शक्ति शुद्धता की.
Life was a constant struggle. Now she is confident of her future. Concern India Foundation strives to give the disadvantaged a better future with your help.
घटनाचक्र में आप सबका एक बार फिर से स्वागत है. अमेरिका की ईरान पर क्या योजना है, इस बारे में बातचीत कर रहे हैं. और IAEA का आरोप है कि ईरान में जो न्यूक्लियर टेक्नोलॉजी डेवलप हो रही है उसका निरीक्षण करना है और ईरान नहीं करने दे रहा है. इसी मुद्दे पर चर्चा है कि ईरान क्या वास्तव में अमेरिका का अगला लक्ष्य है इराक के बाद. बातचीत में हमारे साथ नए मेहमान शामिल हुए हैं. मैं उनका परिचय करा दूं. A.K. पाशा हैं जो कि प्रोफेसर हैं JNU में, जवाहरलाल नेहरू विश्वविद्यालय में. पाशा जी, आपका स्वागत है. योर एक्सीलेंसी, यू आर ऑल्सो वेलकम अगेन. हमारे साथ बातचीत में हमारे पास ईरान के राजदूत S.G. याकूबी साहब हैं. हम लोग इससे पहले कि बातचीत का सिलसिला शुरू करें, हम लोग देखें कि वास्तव में विवाद क्या है और IAEA इंटरनेशनल एटॉमिक एनर्जी एजेंसी के प्रमुख ने क्या कहा है और किस तरह के आरोप लग रहे हैं और ईरान का क्या स्टैंड है, अमेरिका का क्या स्टैंड है. देखें, IAEA के प्रमुख मोहम्मद अल बरादी ने क्या कहा है. ईरान से परमाणु कार्यक्रम के निरीक्षण में और सहयोग की अपील तथा कहा कि उसके तमाम परमाणु संयंत्रों की जांच करने में कई महीने लगेंगे. ईरान ने इस मुद्दे पर कुछ सहयोग किया है लेकिन इसे बढ़ाने की जरूरत है. ये एक अच्छी शुरुआत है, लेकिन मैं और सहयोग देखना चाहता हूं। उम्मीद है कि अगले 2 या 3 महीनों में हमारे पास इस मुद्दे पर साफ तस्वीर होगी। उसे पारदर्शिता बरतनी चाहिए और कम अवधि की सूचना और परमाणु संयंत्रों की जांच का प्रस्ताव मान लेना चाहिए, यानी कि ईरान को। ईरान के परमाणु कार्यक्रम के संबंध में अनेक संदेह हैं और फिलहाल किसी भी परमाणु पर परिणाम पर पहुंचना संभव नहीं है। IAEA क्या चाहता है? उसे ईरान के परमाणु संयंत्रों का अचानक जांच करने की इजाजत मिले। अभी तक ईरान ने केवल सूचना देकर ही अपने संयंत्रों की जांच की अनुमति दी हुई है। क्या IAEA ने एलेज किया है? ये देखें। वादे के मुताबिक ईरान ने अब तक परमाणु पदार्थों के बारे में पूरी जानकारी नहीं मुहैया कराई है। संयुक्त राष्ट्र के महासचिव कोफी अन्नान ने कहा है कि ईरान का भविष्य ईरान के लोगों पर छोड़ देना चाहिए, वहीं के देशवासियों पर। ईरान की क्या स्थिति है? वो संयुक्त राष्ट्र के हथियार निरीक्षकों को अपने कथित परमाणु संयंत्र के नमूने लेने की अनुमति कतई नहीं देगा। They will not allow to the inspectors to have the samples from their own country। संयुक्त राष्ट्र निरीक्षकों को तेहरान के में कैलाय विद्युत कंपनी से नमूने लेने की अनुमति देने से ऐसे आग्रह की झड़ी लग जाएगी। पर्यावरण संबंधी नमूनों को लेकर हमें कोई दिक्कत नहीं है, लेकिन हम अंतर्राष्ट्रीय परमाणु ऊर्जा एजेंसी IAEA से बराबर कह रहे हैं कि कलाय विद्युत कंपनी गैर परमाणु स्थल है। यह बिना शर्त अंतर्राष्ट्रीय परमाणु ऊर्जा एजेंसी के साथ एक अतिरिक्त समझौता करने के लिए तैयार है, जिसके अनुसार एजेंसी बिना किसी सूचना के ईरानी परमाणु संयंत्रों की जांच कर सकेगी। वो परमाणु ऊर्जा का उपयोग बिजली बनाने में करना चाहता है। अमेरिका का आप देखें पक्ष। अमेरिका का पक्ष है ईरान को परमाणु हथियार बनाने से रोकने के लिए सैन्य कार्रवाई का विकल्प खुला है। सैनिक कार्रवाई बहुत संभावनाओं में से एक विकल्प है। ईरान रूस की मदद से परमाणु ऊर्जा केंद्र बना रहा है और अमेरिका उस पर दबाव डाल रहा है कि वो परमाणु अप्रसार संधि का पालन करे और एक नए समझौते पर दस्तखत करे जिससे निरीक्षण की इजाजत मिल सके। अमेरिका को आशंका है कि ईरान गुप्त रूप से परमाणु हथियार कार्यक्रम विकसित करने की कोशिश कर रहा है। उसका कहना है कि इस संयंत्र का इस्तेमाल हथियार संबंधी सामग्री के निर्माण में किया जाएगा। अमेरिका के सीनेटर सैम ब्राउनबैक ने ईरान के खिलाफ सैनिक कार्रवाई की संभावना से भी इंकार नहीं किया। रूस के राष्ट्रपति व्लादिमीर पुतिन, देखिए रूस कैसे इस पिक्चर में आया है। ईरान के राष्ट्रपति मोहम्मद खातमी ने उन्हें आश्वासन दिया है कि देश की परमाणु हथियारों के निर्माण की कोई मंशा नहीं। खातमी ने 2 दिन पहले उन्हें फोन पर बातचीत में बताया कि एक बार फिर भरोसा दिलाया है कि ईरान की परमाणु हथियार बनाने की कोई योजना नहीं है। उन्हें इस बात का भरोसा है कि ईरान अंतर्राष्ट्रीय परमाणु ऊर्जा आयोग के पर्यवेक्षकों से अपने हथियार कार्यक्रम की निगरानी करने को तैयार है। जॉर्ज W. बुश क्या कहते हैं ये देखें। अमेरिका ईरान के परमाणु हथियार कार्यक्रम को कतई बर्दाश्त नहीं करेगा। बुश ने इराक के खिलाफ अब तक का सबसे कड़ा रुख अख्तियार करते हुए बुधवार को अंतर्राष्ट्रीय ईरान के खिलाफ होना चाहिए, ये माफ करें, ईरान के खिलाफ अब तक का सबसे कड़ा रुख अख्तियार करते हुए बुधवार को अंतर्राष्ट्रीय समुदाय से उसे ये साफ करने को कहा कि उसके परमाणु हथियार बनाने के कार्यक्रम को बर्दाश्त नहीं किया जाएगा। विश्व समुदाय को एकजुट होकर ईरान को बहुत साफ तौर पर यह साफ कर देना चाहिए कि हम परमाणु हथियारों को विकसित करने की बात को बर्दाश्त नहीं करेंगे। ये तो थी पूरी दुनिया की बात। पाशा साहब, वी वांट टू डिस्कस, यू टेल मी where Iran is heading and where USA is heading regarding this nuclear dispute and the discussion and the controversy.
You see, the Iranian-American relationship has gone through several ups and downs since the Iranian Revolution in 1979. There were several attempts made by Iran for a rapprochement, reconciliation and renewal with the Americans, but it has always worked in this way that Americans want to impose their conditions, and that is regime change. They have not used this word for quite some time, but of late regime change is increasingly being used, especially after the Iraqi regime change, in which they have succeeded in overthrowing Saddam Hussein. The other aspects are peripheral. The issue of IAEA, the issue of Kurds, the issue of Afghanistan, Central Asia, all domestic discontent, all these are peripheral issues. Now the focus of the Bush administration is towards regime change, and this they see in the context of making the world safe against terrorism. After 9/11, they have identified Iran, Iraq and North Korea, these three countries. They have finished with Baghdad, They have overthrown Saddam Hussein, and they cannot do the same thing against North Korea because of the nuclear aspect, because of the Chinese factor, and also because of the large presence of the American soldiers in the Korean Peninsula and Japan. So now the weakest link in this so-called axis of evil is Iran, and Iran is important for a number of issues. Number one, because of the instability and insecurity which the Americans are facing in Iraq. That is the majority of the Shias in Iraq who are not, I must emphasize, work on orders from Tehran, who don't profess their allegiance 100% to Iran. It is a different matter that they are Shias, but it must be remembered that earlier than Iran, it is the Shias of Iraq who are the oldest among the Islamic community, and in that way the Iraqi Shias stand on their own feet. They don't need guidance or inspiration or ideological support from Iran. It is the other way around, in fact. So in that way, the instability and the future prospects for Americans and the British getting into the quagmire of Iraq is increasingly now pushing the Americans towards Syria and Iran. And number two, the Syrian-Iranian link also is important in the context of Israel, in the context of Hezbollah in Lebanon, and also in the context of the ongoing roadmap for peace in the Middle East, in West Asia, where the Americans have been so far unable to pressure Ariel Sharon to withdraw from the areas they have identified. He is not prepared to dismantle the settlements in the West Bank and Gaza, except for cosmetic changes where the trailers have been put in place, and he is not prepared to give more than 50% of the West Bank and parts of Gaza. So the Americans are stuck in Afghanistan, where there are daily battles from Kandahar to the northern areas. Americans are getting killed. There is the Hamid Karzai remains the mayor of Kabul. He cannot go and exercise control beyond into the provinces. Then the Palestine issue is still very live, which has provoked anti-Americanism throughout the Arab Islamic world, and not to speak of the Western world also. So Iran now is becoming a scapegoat for the failures of the American policy in Afghanistan, in Iraq, in Palestine, and nuclear issue is being used. I must mention here that before the revolution, the Shah of Iran had concluded a deal with the Americans for building of 10 nuclear reactors, 10, thus, and the entire program was to be financed with the oil money, along with the weapons, sophisticated weapons to be imported. Now, because of the Russian support to the nuclear reactors which the Iranians are making use of, this entire program is being discredited. Iran, as a sovereign country, has the right to acquire nuclear.
Well done, Mr. Pasha. You have just clarified my apprehensions, because I was about to come on these questions. That Your Excellency, if you see in Iraq, economics of the Iraq particularly, the major contracts of Iraq were with the either with the France, Germany, or the Russians. They were basically getting the major chunk of the Iraq economy. Now let's come to your country, Iran. The major things, particularly whatever is happening, the construction work, the roads or the oil refineries, are with the Russians or France or Germany or partly Britain, not very much. Don't you think that America wants to have the major chunk of your economy into their pocket, and you are not succumbing to the pressure, to the pressure that you don't want to allow the Americans to take the chunk out of your economy? And this is the game plan what the America want to play on you.
Well, this is a part of that, not all of it. In fact, may I say that the Iranian economy is developed by itself. In fact, we haven't given any perhaps priority to any country in the region, even the Europe. There are some major projects in Iran, but say 80% of all those projects is done by Iranian. And this was because of our own revolution, and because of the democratic system we have it. So we didn't, we select our partner according to our own choice. Now, that is one reason, but there are many other reasons as well. Look at the geopolitics of Iran. Look at its location in the map. Look at its presence in the Persian Gulf. Look at the presence of perhaps its presence between Pakistan, between Afghanistan and Iraq, between Caspian Sea and Persian Gulf as well. So there are many reasons. One of those reasons might be economy.
But Excellency, I want to ask another question. Iraq, America is present there now at present in Iraq and in Afghanistan. So you are squeezed on both the ways. If you look at the map, we will show you the map also. But if you see Iraq, Afghanistan and Iran, so how you will succumb to that pressure if you look at the map? On this one side is the Afghanistan and another is Iraq. On both the places, the militaries of the USA military is there. Sandwich. You are sandwiched rather. And they have the base in Qatar, you know. The military base in Qatar, USA military base in Qatar. And UAE is also providing to them all the facilities. So you are also again becoming the scapegoat, what Mr. Pasha has used the word. How you are going to react into that situation?
First of all, the presence of American in our region is not anything new. I mean, Iraq has been added to it, but they are also present in Azerbaijan. They are also present, say, in Turkmenistan. They are present, say, in their fleet in Persian Gulf. So they are all over, you know, all over the place in Persian Gulf and in the neighboring places of Iran. So now but let me tell you something, that the security in Afghanistan, in Iraq, and in Iran, they are linked together. I mean, you can't deprive one from the others. Put in this way, that we are having very good relation with the Afghan. I mean, especially the President Karzai governor. We are having good interaction with
Your Excellency, my time is running out. I want to ask you a very specific question.
No, let me just ask you this. Our guarantee is our democracy, which is based on our culture. So they are down there, but we are not Iraq, we are not Afghanistan, we are not the Arab country in the Persian Gulf. We are having our own democracy. And I think that is the key point to your question.
No, but that's all right. But let me come back to again the question of the IAEA, International Atomic Energy Agency, what they are alleging. How far you are going to allow them to have the inspections in the near future? Because by September or October, they want to give the full report. What I have heard and what has been reported throughout the media, that USA want to complete that report by midsummer. Midsummer means August. So are you allowing them, the inspectors, within 2 months to have your nuclear power plants, what they called it, so-called power plants? So will you allow them?
Well, let me tell you that, you know, we are having a good working relation with IAEA. We don't care about that or this country, and we are working with them. And I think we can find solution to what they are requiring. On the other hand, also Iran is required certain things. I'm sure the IAEA will come forward for it. But if it is only confined to Iran and Ireland, the problem could be solved easily. But it's not, as I said, it's beyond that. I mean, even if Ireland come out and say that Iran is clean, doesn't have anything, but the acquisition still will be there, because the nature of these people is that they would not be satisfied. What they are looking for is something else, but bringing different excuse.
But Mr. Pasha, let me ask you one question. After 9/11, there are theories and the stories about the genuinity and the authenticity about 9/11 attack. People are saying that is not Osama bin Laden attack. Attack was planned by somebody else. They took the instance and they want to create the issue of the terrorism throughout globally, so that in that net they can have a threat perception to different countries who do not succumb to that pressure of the American pressure. Do you think after 9/11 American has genuinely created the issue of terrorism to run their writ on the different countries?
There is no doubt about it. I fully agree with you You see, the neo-conservatives who are now in power, from Dick Cheney to Paul Wolfowitz, John Bolton, and the whole host of people. You see, even before 9/11, their mantra was the 21st century should be the American century.
Okay.
And for that, they identified that Gulf oil should be under effective and complete American control. The occupation of Iraq is the first step. The second step is, as we are discussing today, Iran. You know, despite 10 years of diplomacy in Central Asia, they have not been able to take out one single drop of oil to the American companies from Central Asia, none of the republics, either through Turkey or through Afghanistan or through any other outlet. It is just stuck there. So the American ambition now is to link the Central Asian oil to the Gulf oil and send the clearest message to Japan and EU and the rest of the world, including China and India, that we are the supreme power.
They are. Nobody is doubting.
No, there is doubt. There is doubt. That is why they are doing this problem to Iran.
Your Excellency, I want to know one thing because
just one point. The 9/11 thing. You know, if I was in Egypt during that period as director of the Indian Cultural Center for 3 years, and if you ask an Arab or any Muslim, they say it is a Mossad work. It is the greatest beneficiary is Israel and the Jewish lobby, and
Obviously,
they have been working on that.
Yeah.
So the terrorism is just a pretext to set their agenda and the ball rolling, whether it is Hezbollah or Hamas or Iran or Iraq, and it could be Saudi Arabia and Syria later on.
Yeah. Your Excellency, let's come to the last question. Ultimately, you are on a chessboard of USA, and you do not know how to evade the chess game. And I want to know one question. In a chess game, certain things are very transparent. There is a still doubt on you that you are not transparent according to Americans or according to the European media or the Western media. Will you try, or your government, what is your government's stand about your nuclear programs? What you are going to tell to the world in the coming days, that we have this and we do not have this? Are you going to do that?
Well, in the chess game, we are having king and queen. Our king and queen is our democracy.
Okay.
This is one. Second, as I said, that we are very transparent. To cooperate with IAEA, we are going to do it. And I'm sure that in the near future, those allegations also will be over. And I'm sure that Europe also will welcome it. We are not like Iraq, we are not like Afghanistan, we are in Iran. Iran has got its own potential and capacity.
Thank you, Your Excellency. So nice of you being with us. Pasha Sahab, आप कुछ कहना चाहते हैं?
Yes. You see, what we have learned after our nuclear explosions and nuclear status after 98, that if you want to talk with America in confidence, with respect, you must have nuclear capability. And this is what the message has been sent very clear, loud and clear for North Korea. And if Saddam had waited for 2 more years, probably he would have had the capability and they would not have run into Baghdad.
But Your Excellency, the one question has come because my time is running out. I just want to, if you have the nuclear power, why you are not saying it? What Mr. Pasha has said, you should have to tell to the globe that we are a nuclear nation and we have it. If anybody wants to do anything, they can do.
Sooner than later.
Yeah.
Well, we are having the technology for the peaceful means and ways, and then let's wait for that time.
So you are saying that you have the nuclear bomb, but you
we don't have the nuclear bomb. I'm not saying we can. We are having the technology for peaceful use.
Okay. Thank you, Excellency. पाशा साहब, आपका बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया. ये तकरार देखने वाली है. ईरान, अमेरिका और IAEA की तकरार आने वाले दिनों में बढ़ेगी और ख़ास तौर से नवंबर तक ये मामला लगातार चलेगा. आने वाले दिनों में अखबारों में तमाम तरह के आरोप आपको सुनने को मिलेंगे, जिसका खंडन ईरान करेगा, अमेरिका आरोप लगाएगा, IAEA की रिपोर्ट आएगी और उसी तरह की कहानी फिर एक बार दोहराई जाएगी. देखना सिर्फ ये है कि इस साल के अंत तक अमेरिका ईरान पर हमले की योजना बनाता है या नहीं बनाता है, या दिल्ली अभी दूर है, ये देखना है। हम लोग लगातार चर्चा करेंगे क्योंकि ईरान हमारा दोस्त भी है, ईरान से हमारे पुराने रिश्ते भी हैं और भारत की भूमिका को देखने में आनंद आएगा। अंतर्राष्ट्रीय रिश्तों में एक नया मोड़ किस तरह से इस वर्ष के अंत तक आएगा, ये हम समझेंगे लगातार इस प्रोग्राम में। तब तक के लिए धन्यवाद, नमस्कार, खुदा हाफिज।